Creole French, and these days in English, while traditional Cajun music is typically sung in Cajun French. Geography and culture. Bayou. A shallow, slow-moving, usually serpentine natural waterway, typically larger than a creek and smaller than a river, and often coursing through marshlands or swamplands. In Louisiana, some, like Bayou Teche, encompass more than 120 miles. Bayous attracted Louisiana's early settlers because they were full of harvestable fish and game, and served as transportation routes in the absence of roads. Even better, the bayou banks, formed by silt from millennia of floods, provided habitable high ground in a place where high ground was rare. Thus, the term bayou today has been expanded to include entire communities. Bayou Black, where I grew up, is a perfect example. It is a small town formed not around a center, but which stretches for 20 miles along opposing banks of the bayou from which it takes its name. Boucherie. A Cajun Creole ritual involving the communal slaughtering and smoking of hogs and cattle. Colonial-era boucheries, carried out principally by Acadian and German settlers, were a necessity to preserve meat in the days before refrigeration. These days, boucheries are more often than not a feature of festivals throughout South Louisiana. Gumbo Belt. Principally, the 22 contiguous South Louisiana parishes that form the heart of Francophone Louisiana and still hold the vast majority of the state's French-speaking Cajuns and Creoles and gumbo cookers. Pirogue, alternatively Piro. A Cajunized adaptation of the Native American dugout canoe. It's a wooden or fiberglass boat, typically 12 to 16 feet long, propelled by paddling and made for navigating in shallow water. The vessel remains popular with modern-day hunters and fishermen. Poule d'eau. The Louisiana French term for the bird the rest of the world calls the American coot. Resembling a diminutive black duck, the poule d'eau, Cajun French for water chicken, winters by the tens of thousands throughout the coastal South, with Louisiana having among the largest migratory populations. Foods and ingredients. Andouille. A lean, heavily smoked sausage made with pork and spices that originated in France, but gained its special character from the butchering and smoking techniques of Cajuns of the Gumbo Belt, notably the inhabitants of the river parishes between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, and the prairie Cajun lands of southwest Louisiana. Andouille, a staple in contemporary gumbos, also owes a great debt to the Gumbo Belt's German pioneers, who helped teach the Cajuns and Creoles smoking and curing techniques. Boudin. A spicy meat and rice-stuffed sausage typically using pork, but often made these days with more exotic ingredients such as crawfish and alligator. Coubillon. A roux-based fish stew traditionally made with spicy tomato sauce and herbs, and usually served over rice. Most recipes call for a whole fish, typically redfish, though catfish, turtle, and shrimp are sometimes substituted. Crawfish bisque. A laboriously prepared soup-like dish in which crawfish heads stuffed with ground seasoned crawfish tails are simmered in a stock made with a roux. It is typically served in a bowl over white rice. It is a favorite Lenten season dish throughout the still heavily Catholic Gumbo Belt. Étouffée. A classic Louisiana brown stew of shrimp or crawfish made with a roux and served over rice. Filet. Rendered from dried pounded sassafras leaves, the dusty green powdered substance, tasting of a muted hint of thyme, was a staple of Louisiana's Native American cooking and herbal medicine that eventually found its way into the gumbo pot. Many use it as a flavor booster, others to thicken gumbos that are either roux-less or whose roux needs bolstering. In bygone years, gumbos were commonly labeled either gumbo févi, thickened with fresh or dried okra, or gumbo filet. Fricassee. In the Cajun Creole interpretation, a roux-based stew usually made with chicken. It is similar to étouffée.